Oh, hey. I'm behind the logo again. I knew you were going to do that. One set of notes is going down, one's coming up, and they meet in the middle.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Swarmcast. Randy Young here along with Jamie Majors over here to your left, Bryce Young over to your right, Brian Davis, who is announcing the PA system for the softball team, who won 2-1 this afternoon.
Absolutely. Big win.
And finishing up game 2. Maybe Brian can sneak in here before we get out of here. And Casey Massey himself, the tech master back there running everything. And we've got a lot to talk about here tonight. Of course, it is an off week for Thomas County Central as we come off the big win against Bainbridge. A record-setting night, 63-7. The halftime score, 56-7, was a record. We've never scored 56 points and a half against anybody. And we'll talk about that game. Now we're going to take a look at the region statistics, which is really interesting. Chris Beckham, our good friend who does the scoreboard show after the games on Friday nights, is the official statistician. And he has been sending us those stats. And we haven't really talked enough about them because Thomas County Central is very well represented. We'll talk about what the Yellow Jackets are doing statistically. We're going to flash back pretty quick. We're only going to go back a week or so for the flashback, just because we don't have a game this week, and there's really nobody to say, okay, let's go take one of our best off-week moments. Hopefully we got Coach Rogers calling in. I'm texting him about it, and I'm hoping we'll hear from him. We got the Pick'em segment that we're going to do.
That's right.
We'll be fielding your questions and comments as we go along. And tonight we are going to talk about your favorite pregame rituals and superstitions.
And I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this. So.
Yeah. It stirred up some conversation. I had a couple of folks that stopped me in Walmart, believe it or not, and said, okay, now, and here was the question. They said, if we share what we do for our rituals, do we have to change it?
Ooh.
And I went, oof, okay, now that gets deep real quick. Now, here's my thought on it. When I go back to the 90s, okay, now I'm gonna self-incriminate here. There was a period of time where particular pair of shoes, particular socks, the shirt, the pants, the belt, the underwear, the whole thing. Now, of course, it was all washed and all that stuff. It wasn't just stuck in the closet.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive. But when we lost, I felt like it was fair game at that point to kind of jostle things. You know, things needed to be mixed up. It's kind of like if you're watching a college game and everybody's sitting someplace and things aren't going good. Okay, we need to sit in a different spot.
Yeah.
Y'all do that? Y'all do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'll hold on to one for a good little bit.
Me too.
Now we have
I
some
do too.
repetitive occurrences. Yeah, it's time to ditch that one.
If you kind of feel like the mojo has reached its potential, then you've got an opportunity to change it up. But there are certain things I think that you kind of keep through the course of time. Even though you change certain things up, there's other things that you keep that you don't mess with.
Well, I can't wait to see what Mr. Dan Stewart might have to.
Oh, my gosh.
What you think he'll have?
Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. But if you've got a ritual or a superstition or something that you do pregame, I'd like to hear it. You know, and I'll kind of start us. And I talked about the 90s ensemble. And this is no secret. And Casey knows this. Every Friday for lunch, Yummy Express has been since the doors opened on the place. And it's gotten so deep with that. In fact, Casey knows there were a lot of years, and I'm self-incriminating here, where I would drive to Young Mix, and I'd get Casey's, I'd get Christy Maxwell's, and I mean whomever was going to be in there.
Anywhere between 5 to 15. You know,
yeah, just depending
on the
day. I was
day.
going to say you've seen it, seen it, and that's just one of those things. And I will never forget. And I don't remember which year it was. Chris White would remember what year it was. Maybe it's 2007. We were playing Thanksgiving week, and we had all planned on we were going to go to Yummy Express that Friday for lunch, the Friday after the Thanksgiving, and everybody was excited. We were actually going to get our food and go back to the high school and eat because that's where we ate. So we all meet in the parking lot, and we get out of the cars. I mean, we're all excited, and it was closed on that Friday for Thanksgiving. And I will never forget Chris Suarez. I mean, it was almost like we didn't know what to do. Everybody was just kind of standing there, listless. And Chris Suarez looked at me with almost tears in his eyes and said, "Mr. Young, what do we do?" So we emergency game plan. There was a Chinese buffet, and Jamie, you may remember, it was over there near where Shoney's used to be on Highway 19.
Oh yeah.
China Gate or something. Anyway, we all went there and got to-go plates and went back. And I'll be danged if we didn't lose. Kind of like you with the steak thing with Roswell. Mm-hmm.
That one's still
I'm
living.
still hitting that steak, dog.
I'm still living and breathing.
Anybody
there.
wants to come and hang out with me at about 12 o'clock on Fridays at Longhorn, I'm killing that steak.
Yeah.
And before we get too much deeper.
Oh, my gosh.
Thanks to Greg and his staff, I got everybody a peach cobbler blizzard, and so far I think it's a hit.
What is good now? And I'm going to say here when Jamie said, "Well, I think we're doing peach cobbler blizzards," I said, "You think I can change it up and not do my latte thing tonight and do the peach cobbler?" Because peach cobbler is a weakness of mine. What is really cool about this is
other than the ice cream.
Here we go. Comedians out of work.
I don't have my symbol.
Comedians out of work nationwide. We got Casey in here.
Sitting down. It's no
Yeah,
stand
that's true. That's true. Not stand. It's sit down comedy. But it's almost like there's pie crust dough.
It's just raw. It's raw pie crust dough is what it tastes like, and it's not super sweet.
No, it cuts the sweet of the ice cream, and then you got real peaches in there.
Yeah, and then like a peach like jelly maybe or something too. Yeah, it's really good.
Golly,
it's like it's really light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very, very good, and kind of fallish a little bit. So, very nice. Okay, let's see here. We got Lakeisha Esser. How you doing tonight? Tell your daddy we said hey. Robert Rhodes, good evening. Mike Lowry says, when it comes to Colquitt versus Lee, don't let the scores fool you. Colquitt gave them 14 points. I was there. Lee County does nothing fancy. We can handle them. Okay, I hope so. In fact, Mike, to go on top of what you were saying, I listened after our ball game, after they had played Colquitt, and it sounded like they had 2 snaps, Colquitt did, that went over the quarterback's head that went inside the 10-yard line, and Lee recovered both of them and scored immediately. And then Lee had a pick 6.
Yep.
So you could almost say that 21 of those points were kind of gifted.
If you look at the end of the game, it ended up being
47
to 35. So you're talking about a 12-point spread where you gave them
at least 14.
Right. Yeah, and if you do that, you can't expect to win. You do. Yeah. You know, one time you may can overcome that, but
yeah, it's like Coach Rogers says. Hey, just like when we went to Rome. And I asked Coach Rogers the week we went to Rome. I said, Coach Rogers, I said, okay, we ain't in front of the team. I need to know the real deal. He says, brother, it's the real deal. He said, when I look in the mirror, I see Rome and I see us. Yep. He said, there's no difference. Mm-hmm. He said, it's going to come down to who makes a mistake.
Yep. And it did.
So, and
big boy
last
football.
week, it's big boy football. I think Lee County has made the majority of the mistakes over the past 3 or 4 years, and Moultrie made them this time.
Yep.
So it comes down to maturity also.
Yep.
Lee County's a pretty mature football team.
Well coached.
Moultrie's a very, I don't want to say immature.
They're young.
They're young.
They're young.
So
I just feel like Lee County, they know what they do and they do it well.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just they don't reinvent the wheel.
And I guess what What's got me it's got my eye turned a little bit right now is they're not wearing out their most super weapon.
Not at all. We're going to talk about that when we get into the statistics. That dadgum thing right there, that thing is good. Golly. Yeah,
I got a good luck charm that might be useful here.
Here we go.
So this is mine and Brian's thing here. So the last game before Coach Rogers took over. So last game, yeah. Or no, last home game we were there.
Okay.
Brian got called because somebody got locked out of some door or closet somewhere. So Brian didn't have the key, so he just went over there and worked on it, took the whole core of the lock out of the whole door. He just shoved it in his pocket, and it was like right before the game. And we got up to the press box, and he took it out of his pocket and just left it up there on the top up there.
Uh-huh.
And since then,
it's been sitting right there.
Yeah, it's been sitting right there. And we thought we've lost it a few times. But other than that night it got took up there, we've won every game since.
I'm with you.
I'm good.
Yep. So just leave it there. Yeah. Don't mess with it.
If you see a lock, leave it alone.
That's it. Yeah. Mike Lowry says if you shut down 32, now you're not going to shut 32 down for Lee County. Now you got to contain him, but he's going to get his yards. You just don't want 70-yard touchdown followed by 80-yard touchdown. I mean, you got to limit him to 15, 20 yards or so and not scores every time he touches it. You're not going to shut him down, though. But, again, 4, which is the other running back, and 9, I think, is the receiver for him.
Jay Rogers.
I was going to say, it sounded like that may be Justin Rogers calling.
Justin Rogers.
Coach, you there?
Hey, Coach, you got me?
Yes, sir.
There it is.
Go. Good evening, sir. How you doing, ma'am?
Good. How about y'all?
We're hanging in there. I'm sorry I texted you just so late. I've been out of town all day.
No, you're good. You're good.
Good. Listen, we were sitting here talking about the big win against Bainbridge. You had to be pleased with how our guys, you said going in that all the stuff you had seen from us in the second half up to that point you wanted to see in the first half. And, Coach, I think that's what you got.
Yeah, pregame, I just tricked them, told them it was halftime. So, and come out there and played great. And I'm just really proud of our kids coming out in a certain dominance early and kind of setting the tone early in that first quarter. And you're right, it's something that and it's not that we hadn't played good in the early games. It's just we've been really good in the third. And I was really proud of them just the way they played those first 2 quarters.
Yeah, and you had a real good night from Jalen. It looked like Bainbridge might have sold out a little bit in some ways to try to stop the running game, and Jalen took advantage of it. He had a real good night.
No doubt. I mean, we thought there were some things we could do against their secondary, and they had kind of struggled at the beginning of the year, kind of finding tight ends, like getting tight ends lost. So we thought we could do some things with that, and Jalen threw some great balls, and we were able to get Gary kind of lost in some stuff. And get some completions to him. But I thought Jalen did really, really good throwing the ball, and that's something that we really hadn't had to do that much. And so it was good to kind of get a good work in on that before we hit region play.
Yeah, and you mentioned Gary Pringle. He was our MVP of the night. And I wanted to share with you now, the last time the radio crew picked a freshman as the MVP in a game, it was Adam Choice. So that's pretty high cotton to be walking in right there now.
That's strong company. I mean, that's strong company.
Yeah,
but Gary's gonna be a good player. I mean, he's got such a unique skill set. He's a fit kid to be a freshman. And he's very fast. I mean, he's a 20, 21 mile per hour kid, and so he can really stretch you out if you're not where you need to be. So yeah, he's got a bright future. In fact, our offensive player of the week was Gary, and our defensive player of the week was Travion Pringle. And so the Pringles. Yeah, the Pringles kept it in the family this week.
Ooh. Hey, Pringles are so good you can't have just one.
No,
ain't no doubt. And then we got Travion involved in offense early in the game and got him a couple touches and try to include him in on that. He's done so good for us on defense.
And he looked good when he got in there playing offense too, Coach. He hadn't forgot what to do when he gets on that side of the ball. Apparently,
he forgot now. He's a baller. I mean, and I talked to a couple of colleges this week about him, and I mean, that's the thing about him. He's just so versatile. I mean, he has such a unique skill set, and he is the perfect nickel. I mean, that nickel outside linebacker, he is perfect because he's a big enough kid to come down and fit the run and play the box, but he's so athletic, he can go play man and carry a guy up the seam. And so he is just a great asset.
Good youngins too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, great kids.
Coach, this is Jamie. I just wanted to just ask you how the off week went. Here we are. We're almost at Friday. So
yeah, it's hard to believe it's 5 games in. Ain't it?
That's crazy. It goes so fast. But was you able to maybe get some kids some rest and get some bumps and bruises healed up?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I like the way we do our open weeks. We pretty much, have a standard operating procedure on how to do it. And so some days we give the players and the coaches off. And so everybody kind of gets a day off on that day. And then Mondays we give the players off, and then the coaches are meeting, staff meet that night. And then we practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We get 3 days in and try to get, keep the muscle memory going and the rhythm going of playing. Because while you want to rest up and heal some bangs and bruises, but you also want to continue to keep your momentum and keep your muscle memory. So you do a balance of that. And I think a lot of times the open week is nice to help mental fatigue.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about bodies and bruises and injuries, which is all true. But all 150 of them got mental fatigue.
Yeah.
And so getting a little bit to get away from it, the old saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Get away from it for a little bit, get a break from it, I think is so important. And so they'll have, in fact, we practiced this morning. And so all those varsity guys had this afternoon off and tomorrow off, and then we'll be back at it Sunday.
All right, so Coach, now I'm going to ask you to get your grade book out because we're at the halfway point of the regular season, so it's time for midterm grades. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. How about your defense? What grade you going to give your defense overall?
I give them a solid B.
Okay.
I mean, I give them a solid B. I mean, I think they're doing good. Still a lot of improvement to be made, but I think it's a solid B.
Okay. So good, but not where you need to be. That's a good way of putting it.
That's right.
Okay. All right. How about your offense?
Yeah, same thing. I give them a solid B.
All right.
I just think that's where they're at. I mean, it may be a B plus because I think we've done good at establishing runs.
All right. Now this is the hard one. Special teams.
Yeah. Well, all right. You got that one kid in class that keeps screwing up the average.
I'm sorry, but
if I can take off the kickoff team,
Yep.
then I'll give them a solid B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The kickoff team has got a C minus, barely passing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they got some work. Back in Alabama terms, they'd have a D. We put them in the 60s.
Yeah, good old Alabama terms.
Man, we barely passing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just had a couple of those kickoffs that go bad. But I mean, we've had 3. I mean, we played 5 games. We gave up 3 touchdowns on kickoff.
Right.
The red now, I think punt returns have been great. We've been getting great returns in the return game. Kickoff returns been solid. But that redheaded stepchild called kickoff is messing up the average for everybody. And we got to get it cleaned up because it's going to cost us now.
Yeah.
And it's a combination between ball placement of where it's getting kicked. We got to get that ball down in the boundary more. And then obviously coverage. Now, we did 2 drills this week that I hope will show dividends there of getting off blocks. But yeah, that one struck a nerve because we pride ourselves on being good at that, challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been a strong point ever since you got here, big time.
Yeah, and not so much this year.
Well, Coach, I will say this. I think that our field goals and extra points has been as solid as I've ever seen.
Drew's a good kicker.
Drew's a great kicker.
No, he's good. And like I say, I talked about this before, but I mean, you got Carson Creech doing a good job snapping, and then Carson Morales, doing a great job holding as a freshman.
Yep.
And so it's just the whole operation. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, I know you, and I'm not going to keep you, and I don't want you to get any details, but I know you've had a chance probably to look over Lee County, and it looks like it's classic Lee County is what it looks like.
Yeah, good game, and it's going to be a good game. It's going to come down to about 5 or 6 plays, somewhere within the game that are going to make a huge difference. And you just got to make those plays, and that's last 2 years when we played them, they've been tight ball games both times. And we've been fortunate to make the plays, but no, it's typical Lee. I mean, they're going to try to establish a run and ground and pound, and they've kind of figured out they need to run the quarterback more. They didn't do that as much last year. They're doing that now, and he's like Tim Tebow back there.
Yeah, he's a big
I mean,
boy.
it's just it ain't zone reads and stuff like that. It's quarterback power, and it ain't no faking it. It's just snap it to him and go downhill.
Right.
And so that leans on you. So the biggest thing we got to do is get them off schedule. We got to somewhere on the drive. Don't give up the big play, and then somewhere on the drive, get them off schedule.
Right.
Get them in a 3rd and long, and get them to where they can't do what they want to do. And so that'll be a big deal there. We got to tackle well because a missed tackle will lead to explosive play. And then offensively, I think we just got to be able to take our shots. We got to take our shots, and when we take our shots, hit them.
Right.
Both years, we've been able to establish a run and get good runs, but it's been those shot plays that made a big difference.
Yep.
Being able to get big chunk yards. And so to be like that again, and then dang sure don't lose it on special teams, whatever you do.
There you go.
Don't do that. But it'll be a really good game. I think all the fans come going to get to see a really well-coached team on both sides, very talented players, and you're going to see two groups of guys fighting their tails off for it because they both want it.
Absolutely. It'd be just another stadium we go take over. So we're good.
Now that's a given. Now, if you ask my opinion on that, that's a dub. You're going to put a dub on fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the fans may impact things in a close game.
Always
like
do.
that. Yep.
I always do. They always do. I mean, that's like year one when we go up there, the fans kept us in it because, they came out and jumped up on us quick. And it took a little trick play to kind of get us to settle our nerves and get back in it. But the support of the fans is what kept us energized when we were taking those haymakers in the first quarter that first year up there.
Yep.
I remember it. That was a classic. Well, Coach, listen, we're not going to keep you, let you go and enjoy your evening and the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch up with you next week and get ready for Lee County.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one. Go
You
Jackets.
too. Absolutely.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, I was reading some of the comments here by the fans. Casey, can you scroll back up to Melanie Birch's comment about one of her things? Every home game, Tim, which is her husband, go by and get a tea from Zacadoo's, get to the stadium by 5, head to the gate, right side 5:30. First people through the gate sit in the same seat. So the same group of folks have the last 3 years. Got a new car tag this year, so you added something to it. And what was up above there? Of course, Devin Bass was saying that any of these teams that we're talking about could beat FSU or Florida right now. And he's a Florida guy.
I second that on the Florida one. I've seen it in person the last few weeks.
And
so
Adam
good.
Choice is the GOAT of TCCHS. I thought there was something from Lakeisha Esser where she was talking
she
about
deleted it.
Oh, okay. That's cool. And Wayne Marshman commenting about the big uglies all together, continue to come together as one unit. When that happens, it will be ugly for and there's no question, man. This line is playing. And Tony Yeomans, there's your name right there.
What?
Tony Yeomans said he loved Coach. Come on down, Coach. What are you doing, man? I hadn't seen that joker in forever. Last time I saw Tony, we were over at your dad's house. He was coaching here back in the early 90s.
Yep.
And we were watching some football game, and Kevin Palmer and him were talking about deer hunting. And Tony was talking about all this deer corn that he had got. And I'll never forget Kevin Palmer. I mean, the game didn't exist. He looked at Tony. He said, "Man, we're about to make this place a dadgum slaughterhouse." And I'll never forget that, talking about them deer. Tony, good to see you, my man.
Yeah, I remember Tony.
You remember him from Florida State, man. He was a player now.
He was a big boy at Florida State, and he came here, and he was a little guy. No, never wasn't a little guy, but dang, I'm sorry, Tony. But I think he was an offensive lineman.
Yeah, he was a big.
And then, I mean, he didn't look like an offensive lineman when he came.
No, he looked like a linebacker.
Looked like a linebacker when he came here.
Yep.
But man, you talking about a cool guy now?
Oh yeah.
Man, he can coach too.
Yeah, did a fantastic job.
Oh yeah,
been over toward Jessup, I think, and that might have been where he came from, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, man.
Let's thank Dairy Queen one more time.
Absolutely.
Greg Davis and the folks at Dairy Queen. And again, what we have here tonight, everybody got the Jamie Mazur's Blizzard of the Week, which is peach cobbler.
Yes, sir.
Real peach, kind of a peach syrup in it to give it that deep peach flavor. And then it's got chunks of like pie crust in it I
think really what it is, y'all, is a little cookie. It's a little tiny,
but it's not sweet.
You know how the
Shortbread?
Pez, the little Pez, They're little bricks like that. I'm telling you.
I don't know. It might be
Because I finally dug one out to figure it out.
Might be like a shortbread.
you know
But
It's
it's like a
almost-
shortbread cookie.
You know, it was like a crumbled up donut stick or something.
Oh man.
that thing.
You got just go down there and get one.
Golly.
You can do that.
Yeah, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
And I wanted to give Rick Vanderhoff a shout out. He's listening to us tonight, and man, he listens to us every week. And you know, Rick is hanging there with us, buddy.
And one of our fans on YouTube made the comment that we've got to wrap up because tackling will be a very important factor against Lee County. There's
Absolutely.
no question about that.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, let's do this, guys. Let's jump in before we get to the flashback, which we'll do in a second or two. Let's go into these stats because this is stuff that I think our fans will be interested in hearing. Right now, as far as rushing is concerned, Tyrese Woodgett from Coffee County, and I think he's leading the state. Bryce, he's got to be in Class 5A. He has 684 yards rushing, but he has 110 carries. All right?
I think running it's what Coffee tries to do.
I think they're running the ball, kind of like Houston does throwing the ball, which we'll talk about here in a second.
Yeah, they only got 50 more carries on that running back right there.
Well, see, that's just it. That's what I was going to say. Deuce Lawrence has 11 less yards, but 50 less carries. You do the math.
Averaging
Well, all you got to
5
do
more
is
yards.
look at that average over there.
Yep, 11.2
exactly.
yards a pop for Deuce and 6.2. And not that 6.2, there's nothing wrong with that. I
Heck,
mean, that's
no, I
pretty
love it.
doggone good. But Usmane Chroma, the thing that jumps out to me is he only has 54 carries now on this whole season. So that's basically 10 carries per game. That is not, Jamie, and you mentioned it, that is not what they have been doing with him through these years.
Hey, and I'm going to be honest, too. Next week, you might see him have 54 in the whole game. Might double it in one game.
Well,
Yeah.
if they can.
I mean, last year, I was hoping he'd just make it through the year.
Yeah.
Because when you're not playing him, you can't help but to pull for him.
Oh, yeah.
And
he
he's
is
such a
special.
good kid.
Yeah, he's
man.
like one of their top kids over there with grade point average and everything.
Oh, he's
the real deal.
He's in line to be the valedictorian of his
Yeah.
class.
So I mean,
He's
and
legit.
I've talked to several people that Eli plays a lot of cornhole, and at these tournaments, there's some folks from Lee County that come and they say that he is the best kid.
Yep.
One of the best kids they've ever
Yep.
met.
Well, you know, he was here for the Cairo game.
Yeah, I
Or I thought it
seen
was the
him in,
scrimmage.
I thought I seen him in Camp.
No,
It
it
was
was
the
scrimmage,
lounge.
wasn't
It
it?
was
Yeah,
scrimmage.
because
That's
him
what it
and
was.
Cam Brooks were down there.
That's
They
it.
took a photo together.
Yeah.
And everybody just talking about how courteous and everything. And Brian Holt, who's a real good friend of mine, who's one of the assistant principals up at Lee, he says that everything you hear is 100% true. He's just as good as you're going to find. And
Yep.
it's hard not to pull for a kid like that.
Yeah,
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want him doing it next week, but
Well,
you want a kid like that to succeed.
it's hard. It's hard to pull for. It's hard not to pull for a future Seminole. So,
I don't know now. Hey, there's two of them.
as Monty, if you're listening, wink, wink. Okay.
Bing, bing.
All right, that's enough.
I'm just saying
They
there's-
can't get us for recruiting violations, can they?
As the guy who's been
But
on
anyway.
NCAA probation, I ain't
Ah,
saying nothing.
dang.
I'm just
But
saying.
I'm telling you, I think he's going to be in Tallahassee this weekend. That's what all the news was.
I'm pretty sure it's the top two, Georgia and Florida State. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. But Florida State's leading.
But here's the deal.
Well, let me tell you, the
As
guy,
Monty can come into Florida State and he can tote the mail next year.
he's got Cam
Him and
Davis
Cam
in.
Davis
That'd be
can
impressive.
share that, and it's cool if he goes to Georgia. Either place will be a really good fit for him.
I will tell you this, Casey Massey. The word from the Georgia folks is that he's leaning toward Auburn.
We'll
That's
see.
That's what the Georgia folks have been saying. So we'll see.
He can name us.
We
Just
need,
think-
we need some help in the
just-
coaching department before he does that.
But just like Cam Brooks, he'll be able to pick where he wants to go.
Oh, yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, Cam's cut from the same bolt of cloth. I mean, just as good a kid
Well-
as you're going to find.
Be another kid that we can pull for out of our region.
Right.
So
Hey, to piggyback up off that comment on YouTube right there, talking about wrapping up, tackling.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, last year I thought we did a phenomenal job wrapping up against him, but you just can't stop him. Because let me tell you, we had him stopped dead in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage,
Over and
play
over.
after
Uh-huh.
play
Yep.
after play. It stood so long, I was surprised the refs didn't blow the whistle. And every time that pile would move 5 or 6 more
Yep.
yards.
well, we had done a heck of a job all night. I was listening to it on the radio, about to have a fit.
That's right, because you weren't
I
here.
wasn't here. I was about to have a daggum fit, and we finally got like a 14-point lead on them with 5 minutes left.
That's right.
In the game, and I was like, "Oh, thank the Lord, we got some breathing room." And we kicked off to him,
Yep.
and it goes in the end zone. First play, all I hear Randy say is, "Well, you ain't gonna touch it. You ain't
You
gonna
ain't gonna
touch
catch
him, and
that."
you ain't gonna catch him."
Yep.
80 yards.
Yep.
Just like that.
Yep. Well, that's the type of player he is. But what's a little bit different this year for us, we got two guys in the backfield that can do that. Because Deuce and AJ, from any spot on the field, are capable. And, I mean, honestly, Kobe Carnage can too.
If that hip's right, they ain't gonna catch you.
No. So I think when you look at the statistics here, you've got Weston Bryan, and Coach Rogers pointed this out, who is the quarterback for Lee. He's got 360 yards rushing, averaging about 6 yards a pop.
Well, they're definitely incorporating him into that offense.
But that is
now.
like Coach Rogers said, that is power football. He lines up and comes straight at you. But the wild card is Canton Williams, and I believe he's number 9.
Yeah.
Or maybe number 4. I'm sorry, number 4. He is the other running back, averaging about 8 yards a pop, and he has been a weapon for him too. So you've got Usmane Chroma, you've got Weston Bryan, the quarterback, and then the other running back, Canton Williams, who have all done really, really well as far as rushing is concerned. But for us, again, you've got Kobe Carnage, Jalen Johnson, A.J. Clark, Deuce Lawrence, all in about the top 12, and that's very, very impressive.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Last year, didn't Weston get hurt in the game? I guess that's is that right?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I'm thinking somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, now,
maybe.
I'll tell you
Another
something that's
region game.
even impressive, too,
That jumps out at you?
is Ahmad Ponder has not played in 2 games.
Yep. And he's still
in the top
12.
10.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
that's, man, Ahmad, our thoughts are all with you, buddy.
Yeah, big time. And a successful surgery, too, by the way.
Absolutely.
Let's see. What was go up on the Facebook feed, Casey, there was a comment there was a question asked. We're talking about the offensive line. Who was that said that IHOP is proud of them? Yeah,
Well,
putting people on the ground.
Wayne Marshburn come up to my place this week, and he stopped me and he poked his head out the window and he said, "Let me tell you something. You always talk about them big uglies. Now you know how I like them big uglies. So,
yeah.
Wayne,
Listen,
I'm here with you, brother. I played offensive line with y'all. So
and we talk
I
about
love
those
it.
linemen all we can. The question was, go down a little bit. Let me see. JV team defeated Cairo today, 27-14. I saw that.
Who did?
Was it JV or ninth grade?
Well, it wasn't JV.
It had to be ninth
JV
grade
got
'cause
canceled.
Yeah, but
Played
JV
right there, didn't play.
Yeah.
Brian Gibson, go down a little bit more for me, Casey. Let me see what this says.
Not yep.
How bad that Lowndes looked in our scrimmage? You're surprised they're 5-0. No, I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they had athletes. They looked very athletic, and you could tell that was one of those situations where their coach was trying everything.
And they're good in the trenches.
Well, Brian,
They got athletes.
you need to think about it like this too, Brian. We're 5-0 too,
Yeah.
Yep.
and probably a lot of the stuff we did made them look bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying
Hey,
that
and
we
Nick-
dominated
yeah.
it by any means.
Well, we did, though.
But
I think next week you'll be able to tell,
Yeah.
where they're
where
really
Lounge
at.
really's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a scrimmage, and I say this every year, you can't bank much on what you see in a scrimmage.
Right.
Because coaches are going to use that as an opportunity to try stuff they never would do in the regular season.
That's right.
And
Nothing to
try-
lose.
And try guys in spots that they may not even play in the regular season. Just
Brian Davis.
Brian
What's up?
Davis. Hey,
Albert.
man. How are you?
We are battling. We are 1-0
That's
over Lee
good.
County in game number 2.
Woo.
Bottom. We're in the top of the 6 now. We won game 1, 2-1. So we have secured the series with the victory we had Tuesday, which is a good thing. But if you can win this one tonight, you really put yourself up front with the region standings. You and Houston, who
Wow.
you play next week. You play them home single game Tuesday, and then you go up to Warner Robins and play them in Thursday next
Well,
week.
that sets up a huge series, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the thing about it is too, depending on how that one goes, you still have the Lumen doubleheader with Coffee that got rescheduled from when we had that
Ooh.
storm day last week.
So what happened in game 1? You said it was 2-1, but kind of give us
It was a battle back and forth. We 1-1 for the longest time, and then finally we were able to get just string some stuff together. We struggled finding the ball really, and we finally found there in the fifth inning, and we're able to string some stuff together. So Lee County's good. They're I think before when they come into the game today, they were 4-2 or something like that in the region.
Okay.
So they're pretty good. But
So Brian,
we battle.
what's the date on that Houston home game?
So we will play Houston. That's next Tuesday. I think that's the 24th. And we'll play them next Tuesday, I believe, at 5:00.
Man, we need to challenge those Jacket fans to get out there and let's
be
be
your
there.
region championship.
Yeah, that could be your region championship. And
Yeah.
if you hadn't got a chance to go out and watch our girls, I've watched them a couple times, and probably more speed than I've ever seen on any of the.
We're undoubtedly fast on the bases, and we're able to bunt a lot because we have such good speed, and we beat a lot of the bunts out. Just based on pure speed. You get a decent bunt, and with softball, so you have shorter baselines and things, so you're able to, if you got speed, you can beat a bunt out pretty easily.
Yep.
Young team, but a lot of talent, Brian, it sounds like.
Yeah. We only have 2 seniors.
Wow.
And so, yeah, this next go around, we'll lose a little bit with this junior class coming up as far as numbers go, but including your pitcher, Laney Momley, who is fantastic. She's in her second game of pitching. This would be her 13th inning.
Wow.
Yeah, I challenge everybody to get out there and watch that game with Houston next Tuesday. That's going to be it's going to be a big one, and
Yeah.
man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then like I said, we have a doubleheader, and that'll be on Tuesday. I think October the 1st is that Tuesday when we have that reschedule with Coffee. So that'll be a big thing too. So next week, could decide what happens. And of course, softball is a little bit different than baseball and the other sports. They host a regional setting. So if you're the first person in the region, you will host a 4-team regional
Man, that'd be
double
awesome.
elimination. Yeah, that'll be the first time we've done it since they started that playoffs.
Okay, because when I was going to a lot of the games when I was able to, I think it was just a home playoff game if you were seeded.
I know.
Yes.
So now you do a 4-team regional.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty
right.
cool.
So you'll have a 2 come in from another region, a 3 and a 4, all from different regions come in, like
And
a
you
traditional
host it.
regional, like you'll see.
Yeah,
Bryce, you got something?
Hey, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
What's your game day ritual?
My
I'd be
game,
interested
we
to hear this.
talking about for Thomas County Central.
Yeah, I already
All
told
right.
the one story we and you do.
Well, it must not be working with the Gators.
No, we need to take it with us.
Man, I've done everything I can do for Florida, and they just ain't worked.
Don't worry, man. Mine ain't working either.
Yeah, but no, so I wear the same shoes, I wear the same hat, and the only thing I change is just my clothes in between.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I ain't changing from that. I wear one hat all season long. The state championship hat, I ain't wore it since.
Is it going up on in a frame somewhere?
It'll be in a
Shrine?
shadow box amongst other things we have from that season.
There you go. There
Cool.
you go.
Hey, if we make it
So,
back,
Brian-
you got to break it out the case now.
So Bryce, did you tell the story of the core that's in the front
He
box?
did.
I did.
He did. That's
Okay.
pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So, and then Randy's beetle friend.
Yeah, that was this year.
Yeah, we have the new mascot. There's a big beetle that whenever we started setting up the equipment in the box there, this big beetle is like he's a mummy. He's in perfect
he's
shape.
he's dead now.
But he's
dead.
just sitting right there on the ledge by the window. We just
Let
leave
him
right
hang,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Let him hang.
Yeah, I
How
asked him.
somebody got a Volkswagen up them stairs, I'll never know.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Well, Brian, hey, go on out there and take care of your business, man, and thanks for calling in.
Hey, how'd you like your folders I had set up for you?
That's nice. Yeah, that's what we're
Man,
doing.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, we were going through the stats when you called.
Okay, well, good. Well, I was trying to do a little bit extra since I wasn't there tonight.
No, you did good. We
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
We appreciate why
See
you're
y'all.
not doing nothing.
Hey,
today.
let me tell you something though. You did miss a doggone good blizzard.
What was the blizzard this week?
peach cobbler?
Oh my Lord,
Man, and it is killing. And I deferred my latte to next week so I could get one of these things. This thing is unreal.
I'm gonna stop calling in.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
All right.
All right, man.
Hey,
Thank you.
hey, let
y'all.
us
Good
know
job.
as soon as this thing ends, all right?
Yeah, I'll text y'all.
And
right.
go Jackets.
Thanks,
All right.
ma'am.
Go Jackets. See y'all. Bye.
All right. Brian Davis.
Sounds like we in a
Good.
good game
Yeah.
over there.
In a good spot, too.
Man.
Heard some cheers right there. We're hanging
And
out.
I know Laney Mobley now. She can throw it.
Yep.
Yeah.
She can get it done now.
Yep.
Are you
What
going to be
grade
able to see him just fine with those new lights that got put up?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's right. I heard about that. No,
Man,
no.
they're
What
bright.
grade is she in?
She's 11th grader this year.
Wow.
That junior class now is loaded.
Lakeisha Esser says, what she was saying that her dad sits in his lazy point and says, okay, it turns radio and says, okay, Randy, call us a win. And that's his pregame ritual. But he's been doing that for a while because I remember hearing about that years ago. And so anyway, that's and there's a lot of folks that
Just
do that.
get her done.
That's right. All right, so back to the stats real quick. Let's look at passing. A.J. Hill from Houston County has 1,407 yards now, but he has 161 attempts, by far more than double anybody else in our region. Jalen is number 2 with 894 passing yards on just 78 attempts. Just behind him with 616 is Weston Bryan from Lee County with Jalen has 78 attempts. Weston Bryan has 71. And Weston Bryan is the quarterback from Lee County. Then you go down to receiving. Both of the leading receivers, and this is a shock, are from Houston County because they've got 1,400 and so passing yards. They got to have some guys catching the ball. So Isaiah Mitchell has 627 yards. MJ Mathis from Houston with 343. But then J.B. Watkins is number 4 in the region. Jaden Upshaw, leading receiver for Lee County, he is at number JB is number 3, and Jaden Upshaw is number 4. But Rodney Dunbar is 6. Ethan Rayberg is 9. Gary Pringle now, all of a sudden, is number 11. And then down at number 13, Usmane Chroma, he has 9 catches for 96 yards. So they throw it to him coming out of the backfield. But you've got 4 central guys, and Jay Jones is right there on the verge of it, basically in the top 10. So we're spreading the ball all over the place. And that's what you want to see. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's you got a lot of weapons there. All right, so now going over to scoring. Weston Bryan from Lee County, leading the region in scoring with 11 touchdowns. Deuce Lawrence right on his heels with 10. Usmane Chroma down about number 9 or so with 6. And then Jalen is 3 slots behind him.
How about Drew Renault right there?
Yeah, and Drew
fourth in the region. Fourth in the region.
Yeah, with 45 points, 36 extra points, and 3 field goals. So, again, doing really, really good. Cameron Kirksey, the kicker from Lee County, by the way, is in the top 10 as well. So Lee County's scoring a lot of points. But we were talking before we went on the air. Thomas County Central right now is leading the state in Class 5A, averaging a little over 54 points a game.
Yep.
And Lee County's averaging about 53. Yeah. But the difference between the two, where did you say we were, Jamie, defensively? Like 6th?
We're 6th in the state.
Scoring defense?
Yeah. So we're averaging about 13.4 points a game, I believe.
Yeah. And Lee County is not listed in that. So they're giving up more points than Thomas County Central is. Of course, now, arguably, they've had Warner Robins on their schedule. They've had Colquitt on their schedule. But what's interesting to me, though, looking at these stats, is how they have done a good job of not riding Usmane Chroma with only 54 carries so far. So I expect to see a steady diet of 32.
I'll say at least 30 carries for him.
Yeah,
so
and
I can about guarantee you, because I think last year he had almost 40. From what I can remember.
Lakeisha was asking, who does Lee play? They play Wekiva High from Florida. Wekiva. They are 2-2.
We go V. No.
Hey, I seen it, and I thought it would just be best for me not to try to pronounce it.
Yeah, Wekiva. And I assume that's how you
I
say
know
it.
somebody on Talk this week said, is that down there where they got the mermaids? And somebody said, that's Wiki Watching.
That was Brian Davis. Brian Davis said that's where all those mermaids swimming there. Wait a minute, that's Wiki Watching.
But anyway, whatever.
As far as the region schedule is concerned, and that's an interesting point. Northside Warner Robins goes to Peach, which is one of our games of the week for the Pick'em.
Peach Cobbler County.
Yeah, Peach Cobbler. Speaking of Peach Cobbler.
Ironic, huh?
Warner Robins will host Veterans. Houston has the week off. Coffee will host Mainland High, who is 0-4. And again, Lee County will host Wekiva. Next week now, the region kicks off in full force. Northside goes to Coffee, Houston at Veterans, and, of course, Thomas County Central at Lee.
And let me add that we have 6 teams in our region, and 4 are ranked in the top 5 or
top 10.
Top 10,
and
because
then
Houston's down around 8.
And then 3 are in the top 5.
3 are, I think it's 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm. Well, now what's interesting this week is that Lee County and Thomas County Central have flip-flopped.
Yep.
Lee County has moved up to number 2 in the state after their win against Colquitt County, and Thomas County Central has dropped to number 3.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
It's all good.
It is what it
It'll
is.
all wash out.
That's right. That's right. So, Casey, why don't we take a second and go back and watch some of the highlights from the Bainbridge game for our flashback, and then we're going to come back and we are going to talk about those pick'em games. But right now, back to Bainbridge and that big 63-7.
With all that popping and everything going on.
So now we split Jay Jones and Watkins right, Dunbar wide left, Deuce on his right hip. He takes the snap, goes to Deuce this time to the 30, bounces off people, 25-20, 15 Deuce to the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown Deuce Lawrence. Jalen quickly in his shotgun, 2 men left, a man right. Actually Pringle in the slot on the right, so actually 2 guys right too. AJ on his right hip from our 35. He takes the snap, fakes to AJ, throws out here, gets it to Dunbar, who gets by somebody to the 45 to the 40. That's Watkins across the 45 down to the 40. Jalen taking some time here, takes the snap, fakes it to AJ, steps back, throws it down there deep. There's Pringle at the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown Gary Pringle.
Wow.
His first varsity touchdown. Right, a man left. AJ on his right hip, takes the snap, he fakes it, throws it across the middle. Pringle! That's Trey Pringle, keeps his feet, drives down to the 16, almost pulled away from that tackler and almost took it the distance. But another Suzy Q's first down into the Jackson Street end zone. Jalen with Clark on his right hip, Garbutt up in front of him. Jalen claps the hand, takes the snap, he's going to keep it, run left side. Jalen walks in there, touchdown. And it is 20-7 here with 2:20 on the clock in the first quarter. Rayberg out here to the right. Jalen looks at a 3-man front. Weird formation defensively. Takes the snap, fakes it to AJ, steps back, looks, throws it down there deep. Pringle, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Gary Pringle again.
Have yourself a night, Gary Pringle.
On his right hip, takes the snap, gives it to Deuce. No, he throws it across the middle. Colt, JB down at the 10. Yeah, ball down to the 1. He wants the ball. He's going to take it and drive and get in there. Walks in, touchdown, Deuce Lawrence. And it is 34-7. Takes it, goes to AJ left side, 45. Watch this to the 50. AJ 45 to the 40. AJ 35 to the 30. AJ gets grabbed from behind, slung down at the 25. AJ on his right hip down at their 25. Jalen takes the snap, fakes it to AJ, looks, throws it toward the end zone. Caught AJ down at the 15. No, that's Rayburn. Keeps his feet, drives down to the 10. Rayburn down to about the 5.
He made an impressive move that time.
A little bit
He
wide
would have
right.
been in there if he didn't
Jalen
slip.
claps the hand, takes the snap, goes to AJ, runs left side, 5, 4, 3, drives down to the goal line, touchdown AJ Clark. Watkins wide left, he takes the snap, goes to Kobe left side, 25, 20, watch Kobe Carnage down to the 15, drives down to the 10, Kobe, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown Kobe Carnage. Man left, man on his left hip from the 20, moves toward the highway, sends a man in motion from right to left, takes the snap, hands it to that motion man, trying to get him outside, and that is not going to work. 3 or 4 blue shirts just crack him after about 4 yards, trying to run that jet sweep and left. Claps the hand, takes the snap, goes to Deuce up the middle to about the 25-20. Deuce keeps his feet, 10, 5, 4, 31, touchdown. Did you see him high-stepping? Gunn takes the snap, gives it to Martin running left side, 10, down to the 5, cuts up the middle, spins, drives. Did he get in there? Yes, he did. Thomas County Central absolutely dominant, 63-7 over the Bainbridge Bearcat.
And let me say this too, and I know that D. Williams, who is an online friend of mine, who's a Bainbridge guy, is probably watching tonight. I want to say this: Bainbridge right now just is not playing with a lot of confidence. I think the athletes are there. When you look at them, they look like a Bainbridge team. It's just they're trying to get the wheels under them. And Coach Rogers made a really, really good point last week about Bainbridge. If you look back at their history, they normally start kind of slow.
Yeah, I mean, the year they won the state title that year, I think they
Like
all but
0-5
lost.
or
Yeah, they
something
all
like
but
that.
lost every non-region game to start with. I think.
Yep, I think that's right. And historically, once they get their wheels under them, they become very dangerous. And of course, they've got Cairo this week, so that'll be something to
be a good
watch.
one.
All right, so tell us what our pick'em games are.
Which
Bryce.
I heard now. I heard this today. I believe that Brian Duncan is the nation's leading
sophomore
running back.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
He's rushed for the most yards in the whole country.
Yeah, ranked as the number 1 sophomore in the whole country. He's special now.
He is.
He's something. Okay, what we got, Bryce?
Hey, real quick. During the flashback, I was looking back at some stats from last year. we were talking about Lee County run the ball Last year they had 40 rushes for almost 300 yards.
Mm-hmm. That's
Grandma had 186 yards himself.
And 80 off one.
Yep. Yep. But that's the way he
So we had
does.
contained.
Just
we
kind of
had
compare it. Well,
we had kind of kept him at
Contained.
bay.
Yep.
I mean, he's probably going. He's good for 100.
Oh,
I would say
every
that
time.
was
If
he
they're
was
feeding it
contained
to him.
and not ran as many as he had.
Yeah,
in
he didn't
previous
run
games.
over us, but he
Yeah.
got his yards.
Yep.
But that's not. I mean, that's what they do. And if you listen, if you've got a guy like that,
Why not?
that's what you do.
You got to ride him.
That's what you do. Go ahead. Let's
all
hear
right.
the games.
First game, we got Irwin at Cook County.
All right, and you guys watching, if y'all want to share your thoughts too, Irwin at Cook.
I think Irwin's undefeated. I'm pretty sure. Cook's 2.
They lost one.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Irwin did.
Yep. They lost the game, I think, after they beat Fitzgerald.
Cook County's what, 2-2?
2-2, I think.
Yep. You want me to pick first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm taking Irwin.
Yeah. I would think Irwin.
Yeah, me too. Brian did as well.
Okay.
All right.
Wait. Before we give everybody the updates of where everybody stands at this point.
Okay. All right. Last week, me and Brian tied going 3-2. Jamie and Randy tied 4-1 last week. Overall, Randy first at 20-5. Second is Jamie at 18-7. And then still tied for third, me and Brian, 16-9.
Yeah, I got a conspiracy going on.
Them Gators, man, they're
Last week we picked 3
It's about the only
different
Gators that
results.
stick together.
Yeah. All right. This second one's pretty interesting to me. Monroe at Pelham.
Ooh. Golly. All right, I'll pick.
Okay.
Well, now, doggone Pelham upset Seminole County last week, and Seminole was undefeated.
Now,
They're playing at Pelham,
Pelham
right?
hadn't won.
Yeah, at
They're
Pelham.
0-4.
I thought they beat Seminole last week.
No, they're 0-4. That's what I seen today.
No.
I think
they beat Seminole last week.
They've got
9-6.
They've got one win.
Now, I was looking in the thing today.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, Monroe hadn't won one yet. They're 0-4. I think
Pelham won one?
Pelham's 1-3. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Let me see here.
All right.
Pelham is 1-3. Ricky Morris said.
Well, and
One
they
and three?
they
Okay.
defeated Seminole last week.
And Seminole was undefeated.
Yeah, 9-6 in a defensive battle.
What?
Yep,
That's a
9-6.
good old slobber knocker there.
I think Monroe is going to have too much offense for. If it was a low scoring game, you'd be tempted, but Monroe's going to score some points. I mean, they just got athletes, so I'll go Monroe.
I'm gonna go Pelham.
Okay,
I'm going Monroe.
the Golden Tornadoes.
What's Brian doing on there?
Monroe.
Earl Brooks agrees too. Monroe.
All right. Third game, Northside at Peach County. Peach Cobbler County.
Speaking
Now,
of Peach
just a little background for you guys. I believe that the coach for Peach left Warner Robins.
I think you're right.
And it's one of those crazy good athletes that Warner Robins had. One of them old wide receivers they had back in the 80s that was so good. It might have went to Florida or something.
And that's who's coaching them?
But he was coaching at Warner Robins, or maybe it was one of those Peach County players, and now he's back at Peach.
Okay.
So,
You want
like Westbrook, Michael Westbrook.
that sounds right.
Yeah, he was the coach at Warner Robins. Now he's at Peach.
Yeah, Northside's 2-2. Peach County's 3-1.
And Peach lost to
I can tell you.
they lost bad first game.
They lost to Perry 49-39, but they scored points. They won 40-21 over Northeast, lost to Perry 49-39, beat Berkmar 42-7, and then 2 weeks ago beat Crisp 35-7.
Yeah, I think Chris was
Crispy.
crispy.
I'll start.
You do it.
I'm going Peach County.
I'm going Peach as well.
I'm going Warner Robins.
Wait, now they're playing Northside.
Northside Warner Robins or Warner Robins?
Northside Warner Robins.
Yeah, Northside.
Oh yeah, I'm going Peach.
Okay.
I thought you said Warner Robins. Yeah. Now that story I gave y'all, the back story to that was Coach Westbrook was at Warner Robins, and now he's
head coach at Peach.
Yeah, Peach.
Yeah, Peach. I think just too much offense.
I'm sorry,
No, that's okay.
but I'm definitely going with Peach.
That was a clean sweep.
Brian picked Peach as well.
So.
Okay.
All right. Worth County at Fitzgerald. Now, Worth County's got a big offense, though.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I'll go first on
Yeah,
this.
if you want to.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I'm going to have to follow up with you, too.
Let me look real
That
quick.
game won't be near as good as this Blizzard.
That doggone peach cobbler blizzard. Yeah, Fitzgerald's 2-1. They started the season off with a loss against Irwin.
Yep.
But they've got a really good defense, clearly. 25-7 against Chris, 23-13 against Brooks. Yeah, I'll go Fitzgerald.
Yeah, because, last week that Brooks game was supposed to be a,
Close game.
supposed to be like a 1-point spread or a 3-point spread. And
And
put it on.
Worth County's 2-2. Worth
Got offense now.
won against Turner. They've scored points against everybody.
Yeah, you
except
remember-
for Brooks.
They played somebody in their scrimmage. Was
K-Ray.
it Thomasville or K? Yeah,
Put like 45 in the first half or
56
something.
to 42 or
Yeah,
something.
and 40 come in the first half, I'm pretty sure.
44-6 over Turner. They lost to Irwin 55-46.
See, they're scoring.
And then beat Dooley. Well, Dooley's a pretty good team this year, 46-3. And then Brooks County, they beat them 26-7.
Yeah, that and I don't even think Brooks scored to the end.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, but I'm still
That
going.
was Worth.
Yeah, I'm still going Fitzgerald though.
Man,
That's tough though. And I think
daggum, Worth could pull that off.
it's at Fitzgerald. It's at Fitzgerald. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Who did Brian pick?
Fitzgerald.
Okay,
I just
well-
feel really good with Coach Pruitt. He has got a knack for winning close football games. And
Marquise Westbrooks played at Crisp County
Marquise.
and Florida.
yep, Marquise.
I remember the
Westbrook,
last
I'm telling you.
name.
Yep.
He's
He
a-
play wide receiver?
yes,
Yes, he did.
Marquise Westbrook
Yep.
was a wide receiver.
Sure was.
He played at Peach
Yeah, Chris.
at Crisp.
Thank you, Ricky.
Okay.
Appreciate it, Ricky.
Yeah,
Moss, filling
that's
us in
awesome. But he was the coach at Warner Robins.
He's
and
good,
up
man.
until 2 years ago, and went to Peach.
All right, and then
All right. Bacon County at Thomasville.
Whew. Cooking them C's like a pound of bacon.
let's see here. Bacon County.
The thing about it is, I think Bacon might be 4-1,
They are 3-1.
3-1.
They lost to Clinch 36-21, beat Telfair 38-21, beat Troutland 31-21. Well, consistency. And then beat Lanier 41-14.
So they're scoring. But they ain't seen what they're going to
No.
get next week.
Yeah,
no,
it's just
say-
going
Or
to be,
down the street.
what we say every week, I mean, just the depth over there. And
Oh,
the,
yeah.
experience they got.
Well,
I think, and I hope that Cam has a good week.
I was going to say, I think the quarterback there,
And Cy, I'm sure they'll have a good week.
he's a difference maker. Both of them.
Yep.
We all agree on it, right?
Thomasville.
Yeah, I'll go with Thomasville.
Yeah, Brian did too. So
They're gonna be tough now.
Sorry, we didn't.
Let me tell y'all something right now. Thomasville is going to be good to go from here on in.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
for sure.
Cairo going to be good to go
I agree.
from here on in.
I agree. Well, they found their thing. They found their groove.
Now, D, I ain't trying to crack on y'all or nothing, but until there's some leadership show up in Bainbridge,
Yes.
I don't know about that one. I don't know if I've ever seen Bainbridge in this spot like this.
Yeah, there's got to be something to instill some confidence somewhere. And right now, there's
Yeah,
just no
somebody's got to
confidence.
stand up and
Yep.
lead the team.
Yep.
And not that they had size everywhere. I mean, they look like the Bainbridge,
They look
they
like a
look
Bainbridge
just
team.
like a Bainbridge team.
No question.
but I don't know, man. There's something off.
Well, again, there's just not a lot of confidence, and right now, nobody making plays on either side of the ball.
Now, when they get in they're in 3A, right?
That's right.
When they get in their region shuffle, I think that they'll probably be fine.
Yep, I
They'll
agree.
settle in there, but right now they just need to reshuffle
Yep.
and start over.
Yep.
With the slate's clean.
Yep.
They hadn't lost a region game yet, so.
Well, and that's why you play the non-region schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an opportunity for you to be able to kind of get your wheels under you
Against good teams.
Against good teams.
Yep.
And there is no doubt that Bainbridge. I mean, you look at who they played.
Yep.
They've played some really good teams.
And the one they're going to play this week ain't bad.
Nope.
And the thing about it is Cairo's getting better. and they're completely driven by a sophomore class that's really, really good.
Yep.
We've been chasing them for 2 years with my son. They are 1 year, I think, that 7th grade team never allowed a point the whole year.
I think I remember you telling me that.
And then I think the next year, I think they might have gave up 7 points.
Mm.
And I think the offense gave that up. I don't think the defense gave the score up. I think they threw an interception for a touchdown or something.
That's crazy.
So, and I don't know if Michael Bess listens, but that sophomore class now is it's
elite.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
It's a billboard changer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, whether they can get to that state level, which I think it's there, but y'all got some.
Well, the thing is, Jamie, they're not sophomores anymore now. They've got a half season under their belt. So you're talking about guys that probably had never played under the lights ever as starters.
Yep.
Who step on that field to start the season. Now all of a sudden they're going, okay, we can do this.
Yep.
And they have found their guy with Brian Duncan.
Absolutely.
And
I promise you. I don't know if he played last year or something with the varsity. I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't remember him.
But I promise you, when he suited up, he was ready to go.
Yeah, no question.
He wasn't no freshman.
No,
he was
no
good.
question. He's special.
I got a little bit of a recruiting update. You want to go with that?
Sure, absolutely.
Man, that sounds good.
All right. Now I only got 2 this week. There could have been more. Again,
Yep.
I know we had a few visits last week too. But Travis McKellen on the offensive line got offered from Dean College.
That's number 61.
Yep.
He's done really well.
Absolutely.
Here's a huge one.
He is a real quiet guy too.
Yeah.
I try to get some emotion out of him on before the games.
Right.
He's just a
Level-headed.
real to himself guy. Man, awesome. We got an awesome bunch.
Yeah.
Then second one, a really big one. Deuce Lawrence got an offer from Liberty.
Absolutely. Hey, Liberty's playing some really good in that group of 5. They're in the thick.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to see a lot more rolling in for Deuce and
I agree.
those linemen.
The whole team, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll because again, people forget. And I kind of poked a stick at Michael Bess last week because whenever we had our little press box show that we did, he was making fun of me saying that our team was trying to build confidence. He said, "Oh yeah, y'all lost one time in 3 years. You got to find that confidence." But when you got 17 new starters, confidence is something you want to build. Yeah. And there's no doubt in my mind that now that these guys, kind of what we're talking about with Cairo, have got their wheels under them.
Yep.
I think the best is still yet to come from this bunch.
Yeah,
So,
I was able to talk to Isaiah and
McClellan?
no, the twins.
Andrew?
The Andrews twins.
Yeah.
Let me just do that. Isaac and Isaiah.
Right.
I was able to talk to their mom this morning, run into her at the Sun Stop.
There we go.
And I told her I've been able to watch them when the light bulb wasn't on.
Right.
When they was real immature, but I've seen them mature, and it's crazy. And she said that when one's name gets mentioned more than the other one, the fire's lit. That the other one's gonna match the other one, and I'm like, God, man. But
Twins and triplets, Casey?
But I told her, I said, it's hard for me to believe when I go out there. It's like I'm watching 2 seniors.
Yeah.
Because of their size and how they play.
Yep.
I told her it was so awesome to know that we got them 2 more years.
Yep, no question.
Now, everybody else probably ain't liking that. But but now don't get me wrong, that in that sophomore class now we got a pretty good bunch because Cairo's the only team that beat us in the 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah.
Both years. We done all we could to beat them. But that guy, Brian Duncan, we could not catch him.
Well, and still not.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's
catches
still
it.
going
Nobody
on.
could.
Yeah, good luck on that.
And man, but
Well, and that entire interior of the defensive line, when you look at Tristan Flanoy, Ashton Baker,
Absolutely.
I mean, and again, the twins that have done such a good job, all of those guys have grown up a lot.
but
in those
I've
5
seen Hawk,
Little Hawk, Tristan.
Tristan. I've seen a change in him too since the first game. The confidence as far as When they come out, they're going to dominate. You know, it's a mindset. It's not a.
They know what the business is in front of them to take care
Absolutely.
of. That's the
And-
difference.
And you can tell. Just the maturity we've shown on that front. We thought our back end would be pretty good, didn't we?
Yes.
I mean, that's where our
Well, now the secondary, there were some question marks there. I think Coach Rogers had made the comment that you got D. Reddick, of course, that's a great place to start, and you got Daniel Jester, who had played last year and done really, really well. But those other two slots, well, Eddie Guerra has stepped in and done fantastic.
Absolutely.
And Okoye Rawls has been incredible. I think, as Coach Rogers talked about last week, that question mark for the secondary has become a strength.
Yeah.
So now you look at the linebacking core with Rubo and, my gosh, Amari Stevenson, Jamie Majors.
he is. I think he'll be a.
He's a
What
junior.
do they call him?
I don't know, but
Is he the guy though? Is he like the Buck?
Yes.
That can cover.
Yeah.
And can he's like a. I don't know. It's crazy.
he's kind of
Seven plays the same way.
right.
Pringle.
Yep, playing the nickel.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, I thought we got off a little slow with Cam being hurt with our defensive ends. The first couple games when we kept letting contain, I think that was part of the growing up. But if you'll notice, the last 3 games since Cam's been back,
That's made a difference.
that has quit.
Well, you got a 5-star defensive end that does make a difference.
But but it ain't like they're running.
No,
when
no,
they're
no,
running
no.
away from them, we're taking care
That's
of.
right, that's right.
So we wasn't the first couple.
That's
weeks.
right, that's right.
I mean, we was allowing people to get outside and
Yeah.
just
Well, if you look at, to me, again, you look at the defense as a whole, there's just not right now a spot where you go, okay, we got a problem there.
No, can't think of one.
I don't see, and offensively, your line has been as good. It's just crazy to me to think that you graduated 5 seniors from arguably one of the best offensive line units we've ever had.
Yep.
Ever.
they were as even keel. And I
Just consistent. Consistent. And it's almost like you're watching a repeat of that same bunch with a bunch of guys that didn't hardly play last year except for mop-up duty. And
but one more,
it's impressive.
One more little tidbit about the defensive stuff. You've got a brand new defensive coordinator. So I'm sure Coach Will Winston is learning players and what players can play in what situations, who's going to get
fits.
you fit.
Yeah.
And of course the players are getting to know their coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, how do we need to play for this coach?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
I knew how Coach Cam coached.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, you just don't need to know some stuff. But Coach Cam now, they were all on the same page.
Right.
But those kids on that defense was they could they just gelled with him on how he coached. He was a hard. I ain't never seen nobody.
Well, the coach and the
coach
team,
like
it was one unit.
and but you know, with the new defensive coordinator, and I think that both of them's kind of gelling together now, and everybody's learning
Well,
everybody.
the guy we don't talk about enough on that defense is Jaden Rubo.
He's the man.
Yeah. He's the leader.
He is the
I
quarterback. He's the quarterback of that defense. Now, D is your spark plug. D has got that Caleb Anderson role, I think, where he's bringing the fire. But as far as controlling what's going on, we have never had a player with more going on between the ear holes than Jaden Rubo. He is.
Make sure everybody's on the right formation, right in the right spot. If not,
He is
go down there and move them.
He is coaching from the time that when third down's over, when they're coming off the field, he's already coaching.
Warm ups too. I've seen it.
Yep.
You know,
I mean,
before we
he
put the pads on.
Rodney Edmondson, my friend from Quitman, asked if we still have cookies in the press box.
Yes.
That is a big yes. Linda Pearson.
Hey, that's part of the ritual right there.
Right there.
If you want rituals, that is absolutely a ritual because Linda started making those cookies. Linda was a classmate of mine here at Central, and her husband, Richard, a veteran, just as good a guy as you're going to find. She started doing that at the beginning of the year last year. If you remember back, trying to remember, just a handful of years ago, Jamie, Lauren Pearson, who was the kicker for the football team.
Oh, yeah.
That's her daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we had our our chick
She was a great
kicker who made tackles. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, she's as tough as
She was a good one.
Well, I want to say, if Miss Linda's listening, Miss Linda, Mr. Randy finally shared a couple cookies with me
Oh,
last
no,
week.
wait a minute. Now, don't you start all that mess. Now, let me say this. When I walk in the press box with those bags of cookies, well, first off,
They don't last long.
No, they don't. The broadcasting kids give me a standing ovation. It's not me. It's the fact that I've got cookies in my hand.
100%.
And then through the course of the night, this one over here and Brian,
I had one before the game started.
they got a buffet going on. So I try to save them, but
Man.
it's just impossible to do.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
I was gonna save some that she made us when my dad died, but sorry, I ate them all.
Now, I don't blame you, man. Those things are
And
good.
a cake. We got a cake too, so you know.
I'm going to tell you, those things are phenomenal. The sugar cookie,
As good as I've ever had. I mean, it's like the cookie equivalent of the peach cobbler
and then
blizzard here.
there was the
Churro, man. The ones that
the
she
cinnamon churro.
Yes.
She asked me a couple weeks ago, was there any we didn't like? And I went, no.
No. And then she made one with Mounds bars, the coconut ones.
yep,
They had-
those got gone.
and then there was a
Oh, my favorite was the confetti stuff with the Rice Krispie treat.
That was it. Good gracious.
yeah.
alive, dude.
Well, last week a strawberry pop tart.
strawberry Pop-Tart. Strawberry
Yeah, I had one of
Pop-Tart.
those, too.
What? Strawberry Pop-Tart.
Well, I ain't going to tell you, Miss Linda, I took me 5 of them home and hit them. And then I ate them when I wanted them.
There you go. And now you didn't share with your.
Absolutely not. I'll just be honest.
Hey, he's shooting straight. He's shooting straight.
But I'll tell you, they were good.
Linda, again, thank you so much. And
Yeah,
I've
thank you.
told her over and over and over again. Her mom passed a couple of weeks ago. By the
Oh,
way,
man.
so our thoughts and prayers are with her.
Absolutely.
But I've told her, you don't have to keep doing this. And she said, oh, yes, I do. We're winning. So, there you go. Again, that's part of that ritual thing.
Yep.
I'm not saying we will. We lose, then she starts making cakes.
Oh,
I'm not going there. I'm not going. That's up to her. That's up to her. Guys, it's almost 8:15.
Yeah.
Again, how do we do this every week?
And we got a big clock to put back here or
You
something?
got something else?
One thing that's local here, I just want to shine some light on. 'Cause
Sure.
I know it's over there in Quitman. They don't get too much, publicity over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he plays receiver. George Lehman's over there.
Yep.
Got an offer from Auburn University
Yeah.
today.
Do you know who he is? That is Jalen Johnson's half brother.
I thought I remember hearing that last
hey,
year.
you just don't understand how many offers that kid's getting.
Oh, he's going to
Yeah.
get a ton of them.
He ain't nothing but a sophomore now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. But
He's the
I
man.
figured we
Yeah,
didn't
he is.
say
He's
that
good.
because I know they don't have,
100%.
I lived over there for 2 years, just moving
I'd
back
love
now
that.
from there, and that's
I would just love to see Jalen throw to him a couple times.
I wasn't going to say anything. I knew that was coming.
Jeez,
Yeah,
man.
well,
it's
that's-
just it'll be so nice.
You're imagining it. Is what
I am.
Kind of like one of those Rice Krispie stuffed cookies. You can almost taste it. It's so good right there.
Yeah, with the milk.
Yeah.
Yes. But what if you had the cookie and a Dairy Queen Blizzard?
Ooh, I don't know. I'd have to go to bed.
And Greg, usually I ain't finished with mine this fast, but it's gone.
Golly, that thing is good.
The peach cobbler blizzard. Go try some of that.
Get you some of that. There you go.
But the gang up at Dairy Queen always taking care of us,
Yep.
and so thankful that they're helping sponsor our Swarmcast.
Yep, and
That's
part
awesome.
of the live streams on Friday nights as well. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here, and y'all have yourself a good weekend. Enjoy Friday night. Get your horn all
Polished up.
and
Tuned up.
ready to go, tuned and everything, and get ready because after tomorrow night, the clock is running toward the first region contest, which is just a massive football game next Friday night.
I mean, how
Yes,
you
Lee
draw Lee County right out the gate, and then you end with coffee.
Yeah, you're right.
Jeez.
That's right. But at least,
Trojan to Trojan.
as I have said, though, it's nice to know that Coach Rogers is going to have 2 weeks to work on Lee County. That's an advantage.
hey,
Yeah.
could be the region championship right off a rip right here too. Never know.
Of course, Lee County playing with Kiva or whoever that is, that's probably like an off week too. So
We go big. No.
Weeky wadgy. Y'all have a great weekend. We will be back here next Thursday evening, 7 o'clock for the Lee County edition, the region edition of the Swarmcast. For Casey Massey, the Tech Master, Bryce Young over here, this guy over here, Jamie Majors, the Big Hurt. Thanks to Dairy Queen. Have a great weekend. Randy Young for the whole bunch. We'll see you next week. It's good stuff.